This episode is brought to you by Only the Real Entertainment and Media Den Productions. Yo, got two new views, as you can see the beautiful lighting. Welcome to Real Hoops. We in another episode. I'm happy y'all could join me. Took last week off, let y'all celebrate with y'all families, just so that you could come back here with me. We could talk some real hoops again. You already know what I'm saying. First, we got CP3, Golden State Warriors, dealing with some nasty injuries. You know what I mean? He has a nerve injury in his leg. This comes after the aftermath of him getting into it with Scott Foster. Gosh, that seemed ugly. And he's day-to-day in his return to play there. So the Warriors also, I just got word that, Wiggins is going to be out tonight as well. And then we have Gary Payton II with a torn right calf. So that'll be Chris Paul, and he's out indefinitely, GP2. GP2 is out indefinitely with a torn right calf. So that CP3, Wiggins, and GP2 out for the Golden State Warriors. I was debating with Cam just now before we started recording about the Golden State Warriors and expectations for this season. I'm officially counting them out, not because I don't respect Steph Curry and those boys over there. They are 4-time champions. Dre, Clay, and Steph. Draymond has always been a defensive player. He's always been a rhythm player. He's been playing elite defense this season. Of course, as expected, he's been, dishing out the rock. But what I'm seeing with the Golden State Warriors is that their ability to play undersized and the ability to play small ball isn't quite the same as it once was. Looney is a dog. I respect Looney. Looney is him. He works well for that Golden State Warriors team and what he does. But he's 6'9", Draymond is 6'6", realistically, even though he plays like he's 6'10" plus. And Draymond is 34 years old of age now, right? He's not, ripe as he once was. Clay looks like a shell of himself. You're seeing those injuries that's being dealt with. It was being reported that Andrew Wiggins, a lot of some of the officials from the Golden State Warriors higher ups didn't like the way that he took care of his body, during his 2 months of being out with the team earlier last season. And they think that's affecting him throughout the summer. You always want to be careful in terms of speaking to a player's mental health. Yes, these are the 400 best players, but it takes a lot of mental stability and a lot of mental capacity to be able to compete at a high enough level, to be efficient enough to assist a Steph Curry, who's still playing absolutely elite basketball and who's still arguably a top 5 player, even being 35 years of age. Speaking of injury, we also have Jamal Murray. He's returning from that hamstring injury that was plaguing him out for the entire month of November. He will make his return tonight. By the time you hear this, he would already have made his return. They're 6-5 without Murray, but they won 6 of the 7 to start the season. Murray's integral. Murray's very important and very, very integral to that offense in terms of the pick and roll, pick and pop action that he has with Jokic. Murray is Murray. He's a shooter. He's a non-conscious shooter, and he's 6'10", which means that some days his shot may be off. He was dealing with some injuries as well. You've seen that they stole that game from the Clippers with, MPJ, AG being out, Jokic being out, of course, Murray being out, Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan securing that dub was huge for them. So big kudos to them. And, I'm excited. The league is always great when you have an elite point guard like Jamal Murray, who's arguably a top 10 point guard at his position. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that will do for them in terms of them getting back into the rhythm that they were. They were going on a little bit of a losing patch. Never count out Yoke. He's still the best player in the league today. And, definitely looking forward to seeing what they're doing. We also have my man Bronny James. He's cleared to play basketball again. I felt crazy reading those news of Bronny, being rushed to the hospital. But he has been cleared to make a full return to basketball. He will resume practice next week for USC and plans to return to games soon after. The This is clear by the James family. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do in his role in, USC. We know that LeBron has made it clear that he does want to play with his son more than anything in the world. Maybe he's a lottery pick. Maybe he's, a little bit lower than that and go to a team that can compete. That'll be amazing for the game of basketball, not only for the James family, but just overall the game of basketball. Have pretty much a Ken Griffey with Ken Griffey Jr. type of vibe where you're competing with your pops. I'm very excited about that. So, shout out to him and the James family for, staying level-headed. I'm pretty sure I have many people in their prayers here. And we also got a good friend of my show, Patrick Beverly. So Patrick Beverly, he goes to say Ocho Cinco was there, right? And Ocho Cinco was at a game. And I'm gonna mute this here because we ain't trying to get striked. We ain't trying to get striked down. Shh, it's a secret. So before he goes to greet Ocho Cinco, he says, "I think the guy Jackson Hayes, like he's a bum." So he greets Jackson Hayes before he greets Patrick Beverly, and Patrick Beverly automatically goes he goes to fill away what you talking first to him for, and Chad Ocho Cinco goes to explain himself, and he walks away. Pat Bev, love you, my brother. High school legend, Chicago legend, and I say that L word right. Do your research. Pat Bev was almost averaging a quad dub in high school, right? Chicago legend. But don't play yourself. It's the NBA here, right? Like you're basically on the same level as a Jackson Hayes, respectfully. Jackson Hayes goes down, Pat. My dad coached on the Bengals for 18 years and was Chad's coach. I can't say what's up to someone I've known since I was 3 years old. Pat Bev with another grandiose L. You don't know the contexture of people, right? You don't know people's connections, and you over here speaking on him because you feel the way about his status when he's coming off the bench, just like you're coming off the bench. Yeah, you could say you affect winning because you do. You play elite defense, but he's 21 years old. He has the ability to change and maneuver his way to being top notch. And you're over here hating. You're elite hating over Chad Ochocinco saying what's up to him before you. He's always gonna say what's up to him before you. He don't know you like that, Pat. Need to bring it to you. Shout out to Chad Ochocinco, by the way, South Florida legend. Shout out Liberty City, Dade County, all that. So now we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, or the Dumbo in the room, or the child. Let me be real. All right, so we gotta talk about Josh Giddy and him dealing with a high school shit, right? So Newport Beach Police, which is where, supposedly the young lady goes to high school with, about allegations about an improper relationship between Josh Giddy and a minor girl. They're seeking additional information. The family is not cooperating at this point in time, so it's pretty much at a standstill. Josh Giddy still will be playing NBA basketball, even though he essentially was caught dealing with an underage girl. Now, y'all could go ahead and kill me if I want to. I just want to speak on the reality of the matter, right? I do have a degree. I have 2 degrees. I have an associate's and I have a bachelor's in information technology. Yes, I'm a smart individual. And I've had the code switch, right? I've been in different classrooms, different elements. Being in college is a wild place, right? So you're 21 years old. You're Josh Giddy, right? And you look at him like he's a super grown man, but 21, you're still trying to figure out yourself. You're still figuring out life. I once was 21 years old as well. and you have dual enrollment classes, right? The girl, I remember there was this is gonna sound nuts. It was a good looking woman. Shout out to my boy Dre Major. So we parlaying, and we come to figure out we 20, 21, and Shorty is a junior doing dual enrollment, and we didn't know she was 17. So it's just like, all right, we know you're 17 now. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you, kind of, because you're 17. But, it's still a fact of the matter if you can be vicinity. What I feel like is crazy is that I'm an NBA player. I'm getting suited up to go against LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Victor Wembanyama, and Giannis. And you got Algebra. That's what's crazy to me more so than anything. But it's very, very much so a reality. It's a 4-year gap. I wanna be disgusted with the rest of you guys. She could have lied about her age, but kind of not really, because you would know a 17-year-old. You'll see a 17-year-old open their mouth and you'll know you're 17 years old, regardless of looks. And everybody's calling for his head to be put on an executioner stand and to chop his head off because he hasn't been suspended, and they're comparing John Moran and Kyrie and making this a race thing. I get where y'all going with Kyrie. Y'all know how I feel. John, not so much. He offended it 2 times. And I don't know, man. I just don't have enough information to really chastise this man for a 4-year gap. There's footage coming out of the girl meeting in a 21 and up club, and it's a lot of questions, and it just don't look right from Josh Giddy's standpoint. I don't know if you paid them hush money. I don't know what's going on with that, so I don't want to say too much. So that's going on with him. Speaking of beating the allegations, shout out my boy Mikey Williams. Got a second chance at life. Dropped all 8 of his felony charges. It will get dropped down. It'll get dropped down to a misdemeanor so long as he, does a camp pretty much. So, he pleaded guilty into that. He was committed to the University of Memphis, but of course they stated that, he wouldn't be allowed to join the team until this case was resolved. I hope, this is a second chance that not many athletes get. He's proven his innocence, and hopefully this journey has allowed him to, move better in the future, because he's still a talent that I would like in our league, and he's been, cleared of those charges. So I'm happy for him, man. Anytime we could prevent a black man from being another statistic, I'm excited. You know what I mean? So shout out to Mikey Williams. I look forward to seeing what you're gonna do on the basketball court. Absolutely. So we're gonna get into real talk. My boy Cam, I saw you on Twitter, but I be seeing you, and I'll be kind of getting prepared for the topic without you even putting up the topic. But it's all right. So the Bucks and them being lethal. I say that loosely. Them being lethal. The Bucks currently, the Milwaukee Bucks are currently the 3 seed. Winners of 3 straight, including the Miami Heat. I still have questions, even though they're 13-5, right? The dynamic between Giannis and Dame will figure itself out. Dame, at certain instances, looked like he was disinterested, or he was out of a rhythm. He's going through a lot of off-the-court issues. I always like to extend grace. He's going through a divorce that's never easy. He's moving to an entirely new city on an entire different coast with different expectations. And it could be a lot for a player even of his stature and caliber, and at has older age and advanced age. It's a different challenge, right? So you're looking at a different scheme. I'm looking at Giannis getting into it with Adrian Griffin. I'm looking at them regressing defensively because they don't have a snake like Drew, who could guard 1 through 3 easily and pretty much manage a backcourt because of him being astute defensively. And they're still getting to know each other. You had that crazy game where Dame, Giannis, and Brooke goes crazy. But that's an anomaly, with all due respect to Brooke Lopez. This is not Brooklyn Net Lopez. This is Milwaukee Buck Lopez, right? Are you going to be able to count on that elite scoring from a 7-game series at this juncture of his career? I don't know that to be true. I also don't know that to be true with changing up the defensive schemes and the offensive schemes so that you're not predictable come playoff time. I'm looking at us, with us being the Miami Heat. Yes, I am biased. Get over it. The Miami Heat, took them. It took them a lot to beat us without a Jimmy Butler. Now, granted, JJJ is a surprise and he's a stud and he's pretty much our 4th best player already as a rookie. Great feel for the game at being a rookie, regardless if you're 22 or 19. The feel for the game is something that can be taught, but if you have it off the rip, it helps your potential and your ceiling immensely. He looks comfortable. I've seen him have runs prior with NBA players at UCLA and etc. So he's comfortable. Suppose putting him in a proper position and utilizing him properly. He's shocked me defensively. But enough about the Heat. It's more so about the Bucks. I'm looking at them having a difficult time with the Miami Heat without a Jimmy Butler, who they're pretty much our rival outside of the Boston Celtics. So, it took Dame, it took Giannis, it took a lot of things for them to beat us without it. Granted, Bam played out of his mind, but Tyler Hero will be present in a 7-game series. Jimmy Butler will be present in a 7-game series. I'm pretty much willing to bet that we're going to upgrade at the point guard position, even though, Kyle Lowry has provided, some decent minutes here and there, depending on the game. He had a game high 28 against the Cavaliers about a week and a half ago. And then he had 21 against the Bucks. So, he's still a veteran, still a champion, but we're going to upgrade that position. And what is it going to look like come April when you guys have to potentially face Miami Heat in a 7-game series? What is it going to look like when you have to face a Boston Celtics team who's beat you in the past in a 7-game series, and we've also beat you in the past? What are you going to look like, and how long we will consider you lethal? We have to see. The aim is still new. Giannis, you're still a top 3 player in the league. But I don't know if y'all lethal. Y'all look very beatable, at certain points in times, even though y'all the 3rd seed right now. So I don't think you guys are lethal. I would say I wish you the best, but I'm rooting for Mike. I'm sorry. Shout out to Damian Lillard for giving the 305 a shout out. We love you down here, dog. It's just when you put on that uniform and you're going against us, it's smoke. It's smoke. That's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Again, we got a little upgrade with this new beautiful camera, more lighting, and we're going to continue to upgrade throughout, the series, throughout this podcast. Y'all keep supporting me. I appreciate y'all being on top of me. Being on top of me in terms of the podcast. What we listening to tomorrow. I don't think I got any vibes that I'm listening to tomorrow. It's waning down towards the end of the year. The music industry tends to slow down. I don't think I have anything. I think there's a new Wiz mixtape that's coming out tomorrow. And I think that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I'm out of here. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. That's it for Real Hoops.
Like and subscribe to Real Hoops everywhere for all of our content. Click the notification bell to stay up to date with every single new release. That way you don't miss a beat when we got everything going on for you that has everything to do with hoops. Tap in and show love.